Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to do. Let's get going. On March 23, 2009, Simon Shack published a video called September Clues Addendum Chapter 1. I will be editing Simon's addendum in the interests of time and continuity. In his addendum, Simon Shack makes the claim that all of the live network footage depicting the collapse of Tower 2 is fake. Simon bases his claim on the presence and activity of a certain helicopter flying in the vicinity of the World Trade Center 5 seconds prior to the collapse of Tower 2. Simon then tries to demonstrate the absence of the same helicopter from live network footage. This presentation is an examination into Simon's claim that the helicopter is absent from live network footage, and the methods Simon uses to support that claim. Simon's first step is to establish the presence and activity of the helicopter using amateur footage. So let's rejoin addendum where Simon Shack is focused on establishing the helicopter. I have muted Simon's soundtrack for 2 reasons. 1, Simon never speaks, and 2, it'll be easier to hear me. Simon eventually shows this image depicting the helicopter 5 seconds prior to the collapse of Tower 2 from Devin Clark's perspective. Please pardon me while I whip out this map and draw a line of sight from Devin Clark's camera position to the helicopter. Simon also plays a clip from the so-called Spiegel camera position southeast of the World Trade Center in Brooklyn. Simon lets the footage roll until Tower 2 begins to collapse. Simon then reverses the tape and ends when the helicopter is in position 5 seconds before the collapse of Tower 2. Going back to our map, we can get a second line of sight from the Spiegel camera position to the helicopter. As we rejoin addendum, Simon is playing another clip from Camera Planet, this time depicting the approach of the helicopter. It's a long clip and I have to let it play in its entirety. Even though Simon interrupts the footage several times, we do get to see buildings along Church Street in the foreground which pin the camera to Church and Duane. I was able to find a copy of this Camera Planet footage online, and without Simon's interruptions I was able to measure 42 seconds of helicopter activity in the vicinity of the World Trade Center prior to the collapse of Tower 2. This information becomes very important later when we learn about Simon's methods. For now, here is our third and final 5-second helicopter picture. Here's a map showing the line of sight from Church Street at Duane. After zooming in, we see that the footprint of the helicopter is just north of Tower 1. The helicopter has been firmly established near the World Trade Center, and that completes step 1. Simon will try to demonstrate the absence of this helicopter from live network footage. Or, put another way, Simon tries to not find a helicopter. So let's get right back to addendum, and I'm just going to let it roll. Simon takes a moment to identify this helicopter as a police helicopter. But now he's back with the Camera Planet footage, and he's ready to present some NBC helicopter camera footage. I've got both eyes open. I'm looking for the helicopter. Simon then goes full screen with the highest definition footage available, he says, and I still don't see a helicopter. The NBC camera angle changes to the General Electric building, and I still don't see a helicopter. I'm just letting this play straight out of addendum, and these camera changes do seem to be consistent with the archives. I'll let you read Simon's overlay. Please note the 2 helicopters are flying broadside to the sun from the camera's perspective and against a dark background. NBC is queuing up tape of the collapse. Simon wants to see it again, and so do I. Here we go. Looking for Pat the helicopter. I don't see Pat the helicopter. Letting it play. Looking for the helicopter. And Simon cuts the tape. Time for my first rebuttal, and I'm going to focus on Simon's treatment of the NBC helicopter footage. Simon's first frames of live footage were during the collapse. So I examined the archives from 42 seconds prior to the collapse to see what Simon left on the cutting room floor. The view is from the General Electric building, but then they switched to the helicopter footage, which is zoomed in on Tower 1. When the camera zooms out, we see Pat the helicopter right where it should be according to the Camera Planet footage. So let's keep our eye on Pat the helicopter and see what happens when the camera zooms out some more. The helicopter seems to get smaller and apparently disappears. Did the footage all of a sudden go fake? Or is there a rational explanation? Something involving the laws of optics or the principles of photography. The helicopter might not be big enough to register at this resolution. The point I'm trying to make is that by scissoring out the earlier portion, Simon concealed the fact that the helicopter is in the footage, thereby leading his audience to a false conclusion. Now, what about the back end when Simon cut the tape during the collapse? Is a longer clip available? Let's see. A German television program called Galileo Mystery investigated 9/11, and they show the clip we need. Here's the clip. The camera is zooming in. Keep your eye out for Pat. And there it is. Here it is again in case you missed it. The camera is zooming in a little more, and there's the helicopter. And now that we have more information about a helicopter in the footage during the collapse of Tower 2, we can make a better judgment about Simon's claim. I turn now to Simon's treatment of MSNBC. Please note the stamp earlier in the upper left-hand corner, which indicates Simon's willingness to examine non-live material for evidence of Pat the helicopter. This is a short clip, so heads up. This is straight out of addendum. The collapse is happening. I don't see Pat the helicopter. Simon puts up a question mark. And then Simon starts displaying parallax, which is beyond the scope of this presentation. I searched for a copy of MSNBC, and here's what I found. Not only is there a helicopter in the upper left, but there's another helicopter over on the right. Now let's watch as the collapse happens with the helicopter in the frame. Well, have we seen enough to judge Simon's claim as invalid? Need more? Let's examine Simon's treatment of live chopper footage from Channel 2. The Citigroup Center building and the Chrysler building help pin the camera just off Staten Island, southwest of Manhattan. So let's watch straight out of addendum. I'll let you read Simon's overlays. And there's another one. Looking for Pat the helicopter. There's Pat, waiting for the collapse, which should start right about now. Keep your eye out for Pat. And there. So, Simon himself presented Pat the helicopter in live footage during the collapse, completely debunking his own claim, demonstrating once again that Simon publishes in the auto-debunkery genre. And what about Simon's methods? How about his scissoring? Did Simon cut out inconvenient and potentially contradictory facts? It would seem so. What about poor research skills or willful negligence? I see no effort that Simon tried to find a longer clip of the zoom-in showing a helicopter during the collapse. And finally, did someone tamper with the evidence to bleach out not one but two helicopters? Did Simon have the means, motive, and opportunity? Simon's methods seem to be very impressive, but for the wrong reasons. And now I'm out of time. There's so much more to do. Thanks for watching. Be well and Godspeed.